Hello, hello. There we go. That's better. Okay. Rocking and rolling now. Good afternoon. I should also warn everybody that it's entirely possible that my stream dies in the middle of the stream because we have been having power outages here all day, all night and all day. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to do some actual coding today. I'm going to actually try to make some progress on a project I started several weeks ago now. And I've largely just let myself get distracted with other things instead of working on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. I also decided I'm not going to stream to TikTok because I don't see the point and it's just eating into my bandwidth. So I'm not doing that. Alright, we shall begin now. I think where I left off on this project was I was trying to add some new commands for configuration to basically let people, like, what I'm working on right now is I'm basically working on building the console app. Here, let me refresh our memories. Where is it? Not that thing. Not that thing. This thing. This is what I'm talking about. So basically, I'm trying to build this. Hold on. Let me grab all this and just slide it on down here. Okay. So this is basically what I'm trying to build. The API is already done though. So that aspect's done. Or relatively done. I need to go back and add providers, but I basically have an API deployed. I can hit it with a request. I can specify the provider I want, and I can get alt text back for a particular image. Rohan, good boy. Bro, do you remember me? Yes, I do. I talked to you yesterday. I do remember you from yesterday. You very kind individual in the chat from yesterday. Hope you're doing well, man. No working out today. Today we're coding. I did work out for a little bit right before this, but I've been pretty heads down on work all day, and I wanted to take a break. So I went and worked out, moved my body a little bit, and now I'm gonna work on my own project before going back to work for some more. But anyways, so I have this API out there. That's cool. So now I'm working on this part of it, which is the console app. So basically, I want to be able. What I'm working on right now is I want to be able to basically configure, right? Because every time somebody invokes, or every time I should say that I'm probably going to be the only user of this app, but every time I use this app, I don't want to have to specify the provider and specify my API key. I want to be able to kind of give that to the app one time, and I can also provide multiple different providers and set a default one and just have it always be there so I don't have to pass it. So that's what I'm working on right now. Rohan, wow, thanks for calling me kind. Yeah, man, you were a super nice chatter. Mohammed Zain, what do you do, bro? I am, Mohammed, what do you mean? Like, do you mean what kind of content do I make, or what do I do on stream? Do you mean, like, what do I do for a job? Bro, as 3-year front-end developer experience, what you accept me? Gianki bot. What do you mean by that? What you accept me? Do you mean do I accept you, or do you mean what do I expect from you? I'm not sure. Rohan, that's cool. Yes, I remember you telling me that you love coding. Yes, I do like to. I do like to solve problems with code. So that's what I'm going to work on. Um, Willow, no, I cannot say that, Willow. And I'm glad that this is how you like to spend your time on YouTube, is trying to get people to say things that you think are funny. All right, into the code. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was here. Can you say... Yeah, I'm not going to even respond to Willow. Gian Kibat. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your username, by the way. Gian Kibat, I can't... It's hard for me to answer that because I don't hire developers, and nor have I myself ever worked as a front-end developer. So take what I say next with a grain of salt. There's actually a really great YouTuber out there. He's one of my favorite content creators, kind of in the programming space. His name's WebDev Cody, and he has some really good videos on this topic. So I'd highly recommend you go check out his channel. This last video he posted is really good. But I guess if it was me, like if I was judging myself, I'll answer it from that perspective. Like if I was a front-end developer with 3 years of experience, or if that's what I said I was, or that's what I claim to be, I would basically expect someone to be able to take a design that they were handed, right? So like a designer gives them, or some wireframes, and to be able to just go, right? With very little direction, with very little reassurance. I would expect that front-end developer to be able to just implement that design as it's designed, and then I would also, I guess, expect that developer to clarify, right? Obviously, that's always a good thing, right? Like if you're in the middle of replicating that design and you can't and something doesn't seem clear, that you ask a question, right? That you speak up and say, I don't know about this. What's supposed to happen when this button is clicked, or what's the style of this button when it's hovered? Like, to just be very detail oriented, to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very autonomous, I guess, is what I would expect. Pickles, why are you always so handsome? Stay blessed, bro. Hey, Pickles, what's up, man? Appreciate you. The Diddler, what's up? Free me. No, I'm not going to. Nice username, by the way. Tom, do you also work for Bug Bounty, finding bugs on Bug Crowd, HackerOne, Target? No, I don't. I don't do anything like that, man. That seems very... that seems like it would take some high-level skill, and probably take a lot of time. Because a lot of the bugs people find that are worthy of those bug bounty programs are pretty deep down in the weeds. So that's a lot of investment in time. I don't think that's where I'd start, or I don't think that's where I'd want to spend my time at the moment. Do you do that, Tom? Though, because if you do that, I'd love to hear about your experience doing it. History Gaming, hello, History Gaming. I like your username. Is your channel have something to do with that? History Gaming? Huh. It's kind of an interesting idea. Gaming that's like have you ever played Assassin's Creed? That's one of my favorite things about the Assassin's Creed games is like all the history that's kind of wrapped in it. I mean, no, some of it's fictitious, but obviously it's one of my favorite things. Gian Kabat says, thanks, buddy. You got 1 subscriber. Love you, bro. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and good luck with all your front-end dev journeys, man. That's awesome. Timothy Williams, hi, Steven. What's up? Can't stay, but just want to see how you're doing. Hey, what's up, Tim? Thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate you. Even if you can't stay long, appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. I'm doing well, by the way, to answer your question. It's been a pretty productive day. A lot of work, a lot of heads down focused work, which was good. I just needed a break, so I went and worked out for a little bit, for like 15, 20 minutes, just move my body, and now I'm working on something that's more for myself. Taking a little break to kind of re-energize myself. History Gaming played it. Nice, yeah, I love that series. Have you seen the new one? The new Assassin's Creed that's getting ready to come out. I think it's called Assassin's Creed Shadow. I watched a trailer of it last night or the night before, and it looks awesome. Siam, what company do you work for? So the company that I'm employed by, which before I say who it is, I just want to say first and foremost, all my content, anything I post on my YouTube channel or share on any of my social medias or my website does not reflect the opinions of my employer. So just kind of like legal disclaimer. But the company I work for is called OnSpring Technologies. They're based in Overland Park, Kansas in the United States. It's a great company. Couldn't say enough good things about them. It's been a pleasure working for them. And I hope to continue working for them. Let's see. What are you coding, Christian? So, Christian, I'm not really coding anything, as you can see. I'm just kind of I'm yammering right now. But I started a project. Oh man, it's probably been 3 weeks ago now. Where basically I built an API that uses LLMs, different LLMs, and it's all configurable. Like you configure it through your request to the API, and all you basically do is you send the API an image, and then you get back some alt text. So it's just like an alt text generator using an LLM. And now what I'm doing is I'm building some client apps to talk to that API. And I know everyone's going to say like, that's a super simple project. And it really is, but it's a problem I have, and I'm tired of going to Claude or ChatGPT or DeepSeek and typing generate alt text and then uploading an image. And so I'm just going to build something that will do it for me a little bit with a little less friction. Let's see. History Gaming says, yes, the Shadow. I love it. Yeah. So is it out? Or I guess you're just saying you've seen it, right? Yeah. AC Shadows. AC. Oh, goodness. My keyboard died. Hold on 1 second. As you can tell, I've done this before. I'm a very prepared individual. 1 second. My keyboard died. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to ignore any comments here. We had a keyboard emergency there for a second. Yeah. So I was saying Shadows. When does it come out? AC Shadows release date. It should be fairly soon, right? March 20th. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. Tim says I'm taking a Taekwondo tourney in a couple days, so I'm training for that at the moment. That's awesome, Tim. That's very cool. I didn't know you were into Taekwondo. How long have you been doing that? Butterscotch. Can you tell me about your dev setup? Sure. I'll come back to that in just a minute. Let me catch up for a second. What do you think people on YouTube full of content on bug bounty hunting, are they real? Are they get bounties? What they're doing? I tried for one bug crowd by follow up some channels on YT, but not get well. I'll come back to you, Tom, too. Hold on, let me catch up here. Gotta go, Steven. Keep up the good vibe. We all love you. See ya. Thanks. Hey, man, I appreciate that, Tim. Have a good day, man. Hope you have a good rest of your, what is it, Wednesday? All the days blur together for me. Okay, so to go back to Butterscotch, or actually, let's go to Tom's question first. Tom, I don't watch a lot of those bug bounty hunting content on YouTube, so I can't really give much of an opinion. But I would say I'm guessing there's people that do make some money for them, or those programs wouldn't exist. The skeptic in me says, though, maybe it's fewer than you think. But it does seem like those people who do well at it are very knowledgeable. They have to go very deep across a variety of technologies to really find worthy exploits of being paid for. So that's just my very naive and uninformed opinion. Let's see. So Butterscotch, can you tell me about your dev setup? So Butterscotch, what specifically about my dev setup. So I'm on a Windows machine. I use NeoVim primarily for my editor. I recently switched from VS Code. I like to use Edge as my browser of choice. I primarily do web development related stuff, but happy to answer any other specific questions you have, Butterscotch. Christian Nicola, I'm just gonna say Christian. How did you start coding? I mean, what started it? So I made a video about this, so I'm not gonna make you go and watch that, but I just want to point you to it in case you're interested. That basically kind of talks through how it's basically about how I learned how to code, but it's very much the story of how I learned this video. So it's very much a story about my journey of learning to code. So if you're interested in a little bit deeper explanation, definitely go watch this video. But basically, Christian, what happened was I was working as a food scientist. That job was pretty intense. It was a lot of responsibility. The hours were kind of crazy. I had my first couple kids, or my wife had our first couple kids. I wanted to find a career that was a little bit more family friendly, had flexibility, maybe even the potential to work remote. So I made a job change to work for the company I work for now, but I was in their support department. The company I work for now makes a piece of software that uses JavaScript as a formula engine. So if you can think of how in Excel you can write formulas, you can do the same thing in the software that the company I work for makes, but we use JavaScript. And so I went really down the deep down the rabbit hole there with that formula engine. That eventually led me to Free Code Camp, and that eventually led me to like, hey, I really like writing code. This is a lot of fun. I'm going to keep doing it. Steve1E, what's up, everybody? Hey, Steve1E, how are you doing? Unibender, how do you learn how to code? Unibender, I can come back and give you some advice on that. Siddharth, what you teaching? I'm not teaching anything. I was actually going to work on a side project, but so far I've just been talking to you guys. Tom, thank you. Yeah, Tom, yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you hanging out in the chat. Okay, so Butterscotch, your NeoVim config. Do you use any NeoVim distribution? So as far as my NeoVim config goes, I'm going to point you into two places. The first place, Butterscotch, is on my GitHub. If you search for Stephen Freeborn on GitHub, I have my NeoVim configs published there. So if you want to dissect them in a little bit more detail, they're public. As far as how I went about building them, I really started by following this series of videos by this guy named Typecraft, or I know that's not his real name, but he's a YouTuber. But he goes by Typecraft, and he has a course called NeoVim for Noobs. And so I started there, and he basically walks you through kind of constructing a NeoVim configuration really from scratch. Now he does use, and I still use it. I use Lazy as the package manager along with Mason to do some. Mason handles more of like the LSP, formatters, linters, that sort of stuff. But Lazy is the kind of the package manager that I use. But basically, it's all kind of been cobbled together. It started by following this course, and then just through my own kind of adventures and rabbit holes. And so if you want to see what that looks like, it's all public, so you can go and check it out. Let's see, Unibinder, if you're still here, to answer your question about how do you learn to code, I would 100% point you in the direction of Free Code Camp. That's probably not the first time, maybe not the first time you've heard of it, but this is where I would point anybody who's interested in starting to learn how to code, and just kind of progress through their certifications and their curriculums. Maybe you're not really interested in web development, but I think web development's a great place to start because there's a really fast feedback loop. Plus, once you learn JavaScript, you can really do just about anything you want with JavaScript once you know it. You can work on web, you can work on stuff in the browser, you can work on stuff on the server, and then you can kind of expand from there, right? Once you know one programming language, it's a lot easier to learn others. So this is where I would point you. And interesting, they have a new curriculum. I mean, I might be interested in doing this. I haven't been to their website in a little bit. And like, I guess Oh, it's just kind of it looks like it's just their existing certifications kind of put into a full stack course. Huh. But yeah, that's where I would send you a Unibinder. DIP asked about, what do you think Zelensky, the one that happened with, is right? DIP, what do you think Zelensky... So the whole Zelensky Trump thing, is that what you're talking about, DIP? History gaming. By any chance, can you say what programming languages you know? Yeah, of course. So if you can kind of look on my repo, you can kind of look on my GitHub to kind of see like an overview of the languages I use the most. So you can kind of see here, a lot of it's front end technology. So CSS, HTML, obviously. I don't know if people consider those programming languages, but they're definitely languages. You have to know them to do things in the browser. CSS, HTML, JavaScript, I know, and then of course, kind of, if once you learn JavaScript, you very quickly find that you're going to want to learn TypeScript because it's just a better dev experience. So I know JavaScript, I know TypeScript, and then I know C#. So these would be the 5 that I kind of say, if I'm going to build something, these are kind of the languages I reach for. This is what I go to. Typically, I'm using JavaScript, TypeScript, CSS, HTML for the client side stuff, and then C# a lot of times for the backend stuff. But I've worked on backend projects that are in JavaScript, in TypeScript too. But if it's going to be like an API, I usually reach for C#. If it's going to be a console app, C#. That's just kind of what I default to. And then I've been sort of dabbling and trying to learn Rust a little bit, but haven't made much headway on that in the last couple weeks. Kenny, hi. Hi, Kenny. Good to see you. Let's see. Christian Nikolov, do you think... I don't know why I keep trying to say your last name, Christian. Do you think future coders will be replaced with AI? I've had this question on a couple other streams, and I just don't. I have really enjoyed all the work that I've done with AI. I pay for GitHub Copilot. Like, I'm definitely a user and a believer in the technology as it currently sits. I think it has a lot of value. It's got a lot of cool applications. I just don't see it replacing a programmer or a developer. I think it can make the programmer developer a ton more effective, a ton more productive. I just don't think it's going to replace them. Kenny, my cat, and I should also add to that, I said this yesterday when I was working out on stream, but like, if tomorrow someone was to release an AI that could really replace a programmer or a coder, I wouldn't stop programming or coding. Like, I just enjoy it. Like, same thing with working out. If someone said, hey, we can give you a pill that'll make it so you'll never work out again, I'd still work out. I enjoy the activity. I enjoy the process. Unibinder, thanks. Of course, man. Of course. Good luck. If you actually check out Free CodeCamp or have any questions, they also have a wonderful community too, so you can't really go wrong with getting involved over there. Jody, I hurt my back today, tripped over my purse. That's a pretty wild story, Jody. Steven, I got a question. A very mischievous one, actually. Why do you stream in phone format? So, Steven, I started streaming in phone format because I wanted to stream to TikTok too. Well, I was streaming to YouTube and I was streaming to Twitch. Then Twitch was always crickets, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stream to, TikTok and YouTube. So that's why I went to the vertical format. However, I've stuck with the vertical format because the majority of people who come and watch my streams seem to be on mobile devices. So I've just kind of stuck with that format for now. But if that changes, I'm happy to go back horizontal. Tiger Morph, do you use chat in real projects? Chat GPT. I use Copilot. So like I have Copilot set up for NeoVim, right? So if I think that's what you're meaning, right? So I do use Copilot here. Like if let's try to let's see. Yeah, see, right? There's Copilot trying to be eager and rewrite my code. So yeah, I mean, I definitely use AI assistance in projects for sure. There's times where I disable it though. There's times where I'm like, Copilot, shut the fuck up. I don't need your I don't need your help here. So yeah, definitely Definitely a thing. Ryan Renate. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Ryan. Shiny. Hope you get better soon, Jody. Yeah, if you hurt yourself, I really hope you get to feeling better too. That was a crazy story though about the nails and all that. Can you please guide what will this command do in Vim? Okay, so I think that's doing Tom. That does some sort of global search and replace. Although, yeah, it basically. So what that command should do, if we run it here, it should just replace whatever string you specify. Which I don't think that will work. Yeah, I don't have it. But if I did something like config and then foo bar and then did G, which you'd have to escape this middle separator if you want it to actually do a replacement, because obviously in regex that's a terminating character, so you have to escape it. But what it would do is it would just basically replace everything, that first word that you specify, with whatever you specify next, right? So it's basically just a search and replace, but you're using regex to define the search and replace operation, which has taken me a little bit to get used to in NeoVim, but you get used to it after a little bit. History Gaming. I'm also a full stack student. I need your help to solve my project. Can you help me? Sure, History Gaming. Sure, be happy to pitch in if I can. Christian. So I am self-learning how to code a game. Do you think C# is a good language to code it with? Yeah, Christian, C# gets such a bad rap in the dev community, it seems like. But I love it. I mean, especially modern C#. I mean, if you have maybe had started trying to learn C# 10 years ago, my feelings would be different. Your feelings might be different. But modern C# is great, man. They have all kinds of awesome functionality and feature, and the nice thing about C# is like you can stay really surface, right? So you can just write kind of application-like code. But if you want to go real deep down the rabbit hole and write like highly performant, low-level code, you can do that too. But for gaming, I think it's great. And obviously, I'm sure you know about Unity. So as if you're trying to learn how to build a game program, I think somebody also mentioned. They mentioned this on the last stream I did, or maybe it was a couple streams ago. Godot is another, I guess, game engine that supports C#. So yeah, I say go for it, man. Ryan Ham says, "Why is your Neo tree on the right looks cursed?" If you guys don't know, the whole sidebar on the right versus sidebar on the left is a hotly debated topic. I was a left-handed person, left side person for a real long time. Then I switched it to the right in VS Code for like the last year, and so when I came to NeoVim, I just stuck with that. Mason King, yep, he got me. What are you talking about, Mason? St1e, is it not hard for you to code while your window is small like that? St1e, it is. I mean, it really is. It's not the best dev experience for me. But I kind of want to be able to work on stuff, and I want to be able to do it on stream. So I'm just learning to manage windows. So I basically work from one window, and then when I need to switch, I switch around. But yeah, when I develop off stream, I have two monitors and I have multiple windows and I split things up, and so yeah. And obviously, I'm sure you guys are aware, like if I really wanted to be super productive coding, it would be difficult to do it on stream when I'm also trying to interact with you guys. So there's a little bit of a balancing here, right? Of like good stream experience, but also, being able to code. Let's see. Sir, can you teach these JS topics? DOM. So what do you want to know about the DOM, Tom? What do you want to know about the document object model? St1e, he typed food. Tiger Morph says AI will not fully replace them because you still need people for implementing and maintenance, but I think it will reduce the need of programmers significantly. Yeah, I think so. Tiger Morph, I think my opinion there. So see when he says you're the best, Steven. Thanks for trying to provide us with the best stream experience. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like the best, but like I try to like make sure that if you guys are here hanging out, that I also interact with you guys too, you know, and don't just like ignore you for what I want to code. Especially since my streams aren't super long, right? Okay, finally finished with home row mods. Now the only thing left to do is oh, you're talking about your new keyboard, St1E? That's exciting, man. Making progress. Okay, Tiger Morph. Yeah, so Tiger Morph. So kind of going back to that whole AI thing of like, will AI replace us type of thing. I totally agree with you. I think though, what I see is that I think AI is very, at the moment, granted, so all this stuff is so subject to change, right? Like it changes so fast. So I'm okay with being proved wrong. But what I see right now is that generative AI is really great, or seems to be super great, when your project is relatively small and greenfield. But I can imagine a world where somebody, you know, who doesn't really know how to code or doesn't know how to who doesn't know how to program, but they have an idea, and so they use something like Cursor or Copilot Agent Mode, and they kind of flush out their initial prototype. Let's say, right? Let's say they get all the way to a prototype that's deployed somewhere, and they have it up and running. I think what they might struggle with, or what they could struggle with the current state of generative AI, is they might reach a place with their project where the complexity becomes great enough and the size of the project becomes great enough where the AI can no longer effectively help them, like you said, maintain it or update it or modify it or refactor and re-architect it. So that could I definitely agree. I could see that being a limitation. Opie, go lay down. Every time I start streaming, my dog gets all stressed out. Susie, 7 years ago. Wow, Susie, that's really dark. It feels a little made up, but if that actually happened, like, I'm terribly sorry. That's really random. Let's see. Azamarza Otaru. How do I go about learning C from scratch? I want to build a neural network from scratch. Azamazu, I don't think you need to learn C for that though. I think you could build a neural network using some just existing Python libraries for sure. But if you want to learn C from scratch, I don't know C, but if I was going to learn C, this is who I'd go learn it from. What's his name? His name is he made a course called Python for Everybody. Yeah, Charles Severance. This is who I would probably go learn C from. He might have a course out there now that's called, let's see, C for Everybody. He may have one out there now. Yeah, this is probably, hold on, C, yeah, is it this? Yeah, Dr. Chuck, I guess is what he goes by online. But this is probably who I would go and try to learn C from if I was trying to learn from scratch. But I don't know C, so I can't really help you with that too much. Soleil de Gloria. No, I don't believe that, but I don't want to be unkind or cruel, right? So, Diego Villarreal, what is to do? Oh, this is what I was trying to get to when I sat down to start streaming, and I just haven't made it to it. But I basically am just gonna refactor this command. Instead of it trying to handle both removing configuration and adding configurations, I'm just going to separate them into separate add and remove commands just to make the logic easier to deal with. Solo Deo Gloria, what you making? I'm working on a little console application is what I'm making. Let's see. Nikki says I'm struggling with my DB for some reason for hours now. Nikki, what are you struggling with, man? Diego Villarreal. Steven, I've been doing some programming for an internal ERP, but I've been having some trouble. What's your trouble, Diego? Otaro, if you really want to learn a cool programming language, learn Rust. Steven, yeah, I guess that is the hotly debated thing right now. Is if you're going to learn a low level language, do you learn C or do you learn something like Rust? Or I've also heard people saying that people that want to learn low level programming should learn Zig too. Um, so, but that's one of the great things about C Sharp, right? Is because C Sharp is a managed language, but they have an escape hatch. So if you want to write lower level code, you can, right? So you get the best of both worlds with C Sharp. I don't really have a reason to write low level code other than like you guys maybe you just want to learn it. I picked Rust. That's the low level language I decided to try to learn at the moment. Ozamazu Ataro, thanks. Of course, man. Sole Deo Gloria, laugh my ass off. Diego, I want user interfaces in cloud-based. So, Diego, are you saying you're trying to build an internal tool and you want it to live in the cloud and you want it to have some sort of visual user interface? Is that what you're saying? Tiger Morph, I'm kind of struggling learning alongside AI. How do you do it? So Tiger Morph, to be completely honest, I didn't learn alongside AI. So when I started learning programming, Copilot wasn't even a thing. Or I don't think it was a thing. I think ChatGPT came out slightly after. So I started really going through free code camps curriculum really in a really focused manner in like late 2020, early 2021, something like that. So a lot of the programming I learned when I was learning programming at the very beginning I didn't have Copilot along for the ride, and probably you don't want to, right? Because you want all the reps you can get. You don't want Copilot doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you when you're learning. But once you've learned and you feel pretty comfortable, that you can look at what Copilot suggests or what an AI suggests and say, nah, that's bad, or yes, that's good. That's probably the best thing to do. C1E, have you just called Rust a low level language? JK. Well, it's meant to be, right? It's meant to be like the next iteration of a low level language. Let's see. What do you think about programming with AIs? I think it's fine, Diego. I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI. I think you just have to be weary, right? You don't want to build yourself into trouble, right? You don't want to write code. You don't want to use the AI to author code that you don't understand or know how to maintain or know how to change or update, right? You don't want to be dependent on the AI, in my opinion, right? If the AI helps you, it makes you better, makes you faster, makes you more productive, great. But if you're dependent on the AI, I could see that not working out really well. Diego, yeah, exactly. Okay, Diego. Well, that sounds awesome, man. I mean, I'm guessing since you're doing the work, you kind of know what you're after. So that sounds really exciting, man. I hope your build on the ERP tool goes well. Tiger Morph, yeah, me too. But let's say if you learn a new language. Oh, if I learn a new language, like when I was learning Rust, I just disable it. I just disable Copilot. Because it's too distracting. Like Copilot tries to suggest stuff that looks right, but because I don't know the language, I don't really know if it's right. And then on top of that, Tiger Morph, when you're if I'm learning Rust, I want all the reps I can get at writing it. I don't need Copilot to steal reps from me. I'm okay with Copilot stealing reps from me to write JavaScript or C# because I've written a crap ton of it over the last 4 or 5 years. And I can look at what it's suggesting and say, okay, that's fine. Dump it in there. I can modify it if I need to. But if I'm learning something new, I do not want Copilot, like, jumping over me, trying to say, no, 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 do it this way. So I disable it. And NeoVim makes it pretty easy to disable. You can just type, I think it's like Copilot, and VS Code has the same functionality too. It's like you can use the command palette, or there's a little icon in the bottom right. But you can just type Copilot disable, then it goes away. All right, so what was I? Okay, so this I've been wanting to rename this, so I want to call this add command. Do I want to call this add config? Yeah, add config command. And then I'm going to change this to just be... I really need to shrink the size of my... Nope, that's the wrong way. I tell you what, I'm still a NeoVim noob, though. I can feel it in my fingers. I mean, it's getting better. Like, I'm getting more comfortable, but there are still times where I'm like, well, what am I trying to do? I'll tell you what, the worst part about NeoVim is when you hit caps lock and, like, all hell breaks loose. And if you don't realize that you've hit caps lock, you're like, what is happening? What has happened to me? Okay, so we rename this, and then there's some code in here I need to remove, I think. Why is this complaining? Oh, it's complaining because it's down here. Okay, so this is fine the way it is. Basically, this command adds or updates a configuration. And then the other command is going to remove it. And I'm pretty sure this is all working fine. But what I wanted to do was now what I want to do is over here, I want to implement removing a command. So to do that, let's see. Add config command. Man, chat went really quiet there for a second. Oh no, I just missed a bunch of messages. I'm sorry. Diego Villarreal. For example, I'm building it for the team, better said for the board of directors, so they can log in from anywhere in the world and see live inventory, production, raw materials, KPIs, etc. Nice, Diego. That sounds like a very ambitious project. Also for the ERP to send an order for my raw materials every time they get at about 20% in my warehouse. Nice, man. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool, really ambitious project. You're going to learn a ton building that. Steve1E, oh, he's talking to Tiger Morph. Let's see. Mel Geo, I'm sorry if my question is off topic. No off topic question, man. Don't even worry about it. We're really just talking about anything, and I'm just kind of working in the background, so I'm sorry if but did you get your NeoVim and its plugins to work properly when you are on a network drive / network share in Windows? I have problems with some plugins. Melgeo, I guess, are you saying your NeoVim config, you have it persisted on a network share? Or are you saying you're using NeoVim to edit things that are on a network share, like that aren't on your local computer's drive? Is that what you're talking about? But no, I haven't had a setup like that. So my NeoVim configs are on my machine's local disk, and then all the code I write is also on that same disk. Diego, thank you. Of course, man. Of course. Steven, do you have a Discord server? I don't, but I could make one. You're the Steve1E. You're the third or fourth person that's asked. So I'd be happy to make one if you guys would be interested in it. Magic Up. He's saying that he is using NeoVim to edit his network share. Oh, okay. At work we have our projects on a local server. Okay, yeah. I think see Magic Hub make one. Steve1E make one, please. Okay, yeah, definitely. I can make one and share it with you. Magic Hubs and I'll be a mod, yeah. Man, I don't my community over here is so small right now. The need for mods is so little, but I appreciate that, man. Diego Villarreal, what is the music in the background? It's lo-fi music. But it's from this website that generates it algorithmically, right? So that obviously that way you don't get copyrighted, copyright strikes and stuff. But if you go to lofigenerator.com, this is the site I use. It's pretty good. There's definitely times where I'll like have to skip over that track, but for the most part, it's pretty good vibes. Gandalf, hey Steven, how are you? I'm good, Gandalf. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. The hairstyle promoter. Nice username. What color scheme are you using? I think this is one dark. Hold on, I can check real quick. Let's see. I think if I type current theme or telescope theme. What is it? I can't remember. I use a theme picker configuration. I can't remember what it is. NeoVim theme picker. I don't think it's this. One sec. Let me look at my config, because there's a command I can type that pulls up a picker. This kind of shows how much of a NeoVim noob I am, but I'm pretty sure it's one dark, one of the one dark themes. Plugins, themes. Yeah, it's one of the one dark themes. But what is that plugin called? Yeah, Telescope Themes is the name of the plugin. Oops, hold on, that's not the right thing. Telescope Themes, okay. Telescope Themes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one dark vivid, maybe? Oh no, it's just one dark is the theme. That's what it is. What kind of music do you actually listen to, Steve1E? I listen to a lot of stuff. Just about everything. Like, I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but I'm also a MGK fan. So I kind of span the whole spectrum. Steve1E says, for example, I only listen to white stuff. I mean, white girl music's good music. I mean, Taylor Swift's great. The hairstyle promoter things. Yeah. Sorry about that, man. It took me way longer to answer that question than it should have. But I'm pretty sure it's one dark's dark theme. And I change it like every day depending on the vibes, you know. I really like the theme. I really like. I use it just about everywhere. Is it doesn't look as good in NeoVim as it does in VS Code, but I really like GitHub's dark dimmed theme. Whoa, dark. Oh god, I've made NeoVim unhappy. Oh, I guess I don't have this installed, maybe. But yeah, that's the one I really enjoy. But I find One Dark looks better. Have you ever tried Helix Editor? What are your thoughts on it? I have not. What is that? Helix. I've written all of like 3 lines of code since we started this stream, but I don't care. Helix Editor? Interesting. No, I've never seen this. So it looks like it kind of has like Vim-like movement. Vim-like experience, huh? Multiple cursors? Ooh, I like that. Tree sitter. Oh, okay, so it's something like Vim, huh? It's a joke. If NeoVim is modern Vim, then Helix is postmodern. Ah, I get it. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay, so it's starting from scratch. So it's not built on top of Vim. It's like its own thing, but kind of inspired by Vim, I guess. I'll have to give it a try, man. Thanks for the recommendation. Definitely have to give it a shot. Although I just started learning. I just started working in NeoVim, right? And so it's like, I've already lost some productivity with that switch. I don't know if I'm ready to do it again. Yeah, Diego. Oh yeah, Diego. You were the one that asked about the background music. Yeah, if that website's, I think it's a great web. Like normally, if I'm off stream, I just listen to like lo-fi YouTube videos. But because that stuff's copyrighted, I don't use it on stream or in videos. But somebody made that website. I don't know who it is. I don't know if he's attributed himself on there. I'd give him a shout out if he was on there. But yeah, it doesn't seem like he's listed. So whoever built this, shout out to whoever built Lo-Fi Generator. It's great. Okay, so we can actually remove this. And then I just need to be able to load the settings. Yeah, I guess I honestly kind of want to move. Okay, let's actually move this into its own thing. That can stay here. That can stay here too. I don't care if that's in a separate file. I kind of want to move the loading of the settings file to a separate thing so I don't have to repeat the path. Yeah. That's all right. I'll repeat it, and then if I ever want to go back and If I ever want to go back, I can fix it. Okay, dude, but you get the point. Not 3WC, but C3W. Yeah. And I'm pretty bad right now, Steve, honestly, on the whole navigating. Like, instead of typing, you know, what is it, 2K or what is it, 6K? Yeah, instead of typing number and then command, I'll just spam the button. So I need to get better at remembering that. Hey, if I want to go from where I am to 10 lines up, I can type 10K, which is why I have the numbers relative to begin with. I just need to get less lazy at how I navigate NeoVim. Okay, so we need to copy. I'm gonna quit opening the tree sitter because I keep opening it and then I keep closing it. So all I need to do really here is I need to copy this, yank that, bring that over here. Well, actually, I don't even need that much. I just need this. Let's see, AW. I'm very new to coding. Is this Python? It's not. It's C#. Oh, C1 he already answered you. How is learning Python going though, AW? Are you enjoying it? Because I actually have been doing some Python on stream. I've been trying to learn about building large language models from this book, and the book is all in Python. Yeah, and so I have some feelings, and I've written not large projects, but reasonably sized projects in Python, and it's never grabbed me. You know, so like I know it, I can work in it, but it just is never quite I'm never quite taken to it. But I'm interested to hear what you've been doing, AW. If you're still here, obviously. If you're not still here, no worries. Thanks for stopping in. Free Python classes on Coursera for anybody interested. Yeah, hey J90, how are you? Yeah, the Python class that I really enjoyed was Python for Everybody by Dr. Chuck. The CS50 Python class is good too. CS50P. AW, no, I started and stopped 4 times. It's time to restart. So, AW, if you started and stopped 4 times, is it just like a life thing, or is it because you just haven't enjoyed Python? Because if you haven't enjoyed Python, I'd highly recommend checking out, JavaScript or TypeScript. Maybe try a different language, right? You may find that another language is more your thing. I mean, there's a reason why not everybody uses the same language. Some people just take to other languages better, Not that you should learn Python, just if maybe that's a reason why you stopped and started. J90, no marketing, just need more programmers in this world. Yeah. I think everybody learning to program would probably be a good thing. Like, you don't need to know how to maybe build an application from start to finish or deploy it or maintain it, but at least go through the process of writing kind of maybe a small script or something, have it knowing the basics. I think the value in it is more about like the type of problem solving it helps you practice, that the thinking, the process of thinking. Steven, you think full stack PHP will happen until 2027? You mean PHP in the browser? I saw Aaron Francis. I don't know if you guys know who Aaron Francis is. That he's a content creator and a programmer. He just released, I think, a library that lets you basically. I think it's specifically oriented towards people who use. I think people who use Laravel, maybe. Yeah, yeah. I I saw him. He posted a video about it. Let's see. Aaron Francis PHP in browser. The Chronicle Drinker. Oh, a coding stream. Didn't expect to find this on live. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, we're doing some coding. We're doing a lot of talking. We're doing. So the title says coffee code and chat. We're doing a lot of chat, a little bit of coding, and a minor amount of coffee drinking. Atomic Boomin'. Oh wow, are you coding? I was actually just saying that we are coding in between a lot of jawing and drinking this coffee flavored protein shake. Oh yeah, I was saying that PHP in the browser, Steve. This is the video he made about it. So you can basically do something like this, or you like define a PHP tag. I haven't used it or anything. I don't write PHP or never have, but pretty crazy. I guess he's calling it Fusion. But you know what I mean? You can write C# in the browser, right? With Wasm. So is AI brain dead? Is AI brain dead moves, or do you see an autonomous future in it? Stewie, ha, PHP the web, yeah. Yeah, people are still trying to make that a thing. Which, I'm all for people trying to find ways to build things with the languages and the tools that they love. And so, like C# has Blazor and Maui, right? So their technologies, if you want to only write C#, but you still want to target all these different platforms, I'm all for it. I just don't mind writing JavaScript. So that's my take on it. Yeah. Also, JM Music. I'm not sure what you mean. I agree with Steve. I think LLMs are going to have a ceiling on them in terms of how capable they become. I think there's definitely a ceiling there. But AI, true AI, true AGI, I think could be quite could have quite a promising future. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around what that would look like even now. Stewie, I mean, technically, you can write anything and anything, right? I mean, I said this in a short I made, but like, it all gets compiled to ones and zeros, right? So, what does it matter, right? Write what you like, build with what you like. Chet Hanks. That's wonderful to know, Chet. Thanks for dropping in to let us know that. Hope you have a nice day, Chet. AW. As I said, I'm a newbie, but I always wondered why people who are good coders work for other companies. Why not start their own? because they're just vastly different skills. You know, being able to solve problems with code and build complex systems doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the skills it takes to build and run and scale a company. Maybe not even scale it. Maybe just build it and run it. They're vastly different skill sets. So yeah, that's I guess that's I mean, and as a I guess they aren't always in. They don't always exist in the same person. That's kind of my take on it. I mean, what's crazy and the craziest thing too is AW. You could argue the business skills some are largely more important, right? Because you see a lot of really awesome projects built by a lot of smart engineers and programmers, and a lot of them don't have a lot of users, right? I mean, most of the people who are out on the interwebs pontificating about how you should build things and how you should program and this is how I would do this and this is how I built that. I mean, the majority of them don't have like even hundreds of users using the things they built. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of I don't know. It's just they're just different things. Now, if you can do both, yeah, for sure, do both. Mia, hey, what's up, Mia? Uh, thanks for stopping into the chat. Steve1E, A. Sideload. Why does this code look like Java and a pinch of Kotlin had a baby? Well, I guess because it's C sharp. Sideload, which I mean, everybody makes that joke that C sharp is Microsoft's response to Java. I've never written any Java, so I don't honestly know. AW, just make open source stuff and live in the streets of donations. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of people's approach. Although some people turn open source into this weird moral thing, and I don't. I mean, if you want to build something and it has value, you want to charge people to use it, I say go for it, man. You want to build stuff and make it available for free for other people to fork and use, do that too. I don't think there's inherently anything moral about either one. Like, I don't know, if you're not in the C# world, you probably don't know this, but there's a library in C# called Fluent Assertions, and they recently, they didn't close source, but they recently basically changed their licensing. So you have to, if you want to use their newer versions, you have to pay. And woo, people felt some type of way about that decision. If it were me, I will never be talking with our clients. Imagine being the actual owner of the company and having to go out and publicize your product. Hell nah, I could never go on my own. Yeah, I mean, right, Melgeo, that's a perfect that is a perfect description, right? Of like why why people who maybe can build stuff don't just go and start their own thing. Because there's a whole set of things you have to do that maybe you don't want to do in order to do that successfully. So you can always get a partner, right? You can always find someone that you trust and want to partner with if you wanted to start your own thing. But I think that just answers the question of like, it's the same thing for scientists, right? I'm telling you, the best drug chemists in the world don't start and run their own pharmaceutical companies, right? It's just a thing. Might try learn C#. Then if I want to escape the JVM, seems familiar enough. Yeah, everyone tells me that if you know C#, then you can pretty much learn Java pretty readily, and vice versa. And the Java I have read, I haven't written any, but the Java that I have read, I've been able to understand it. So yeah, I would definitely be a shill for people learning C#. I think Microsoft has gotten a bad rep in the dev community, and hopefully that changes over the next few years. Steve1E, when people make it moral, I'm like, it's just not that deep, bruh. Yeah, Steve1E, I agree with you, man. It's like, I think you guys have lost sight of the real world here. I think you're out of touch, man. I mean, there's kids with cancer and there's wars and I think you guys have just lost touch of what's important in life. Steven, you hyped for the Ladybird browser? I'm hyped for a new browser for sure. Although it's a little ways away, isn't it? It's still out there a ways before they actually have something we can use, like another year or two, right? Or maybe I'm wrong, but I think the last time I watched, um, what's his name? The guy that's the what is his name? He was on the Primogen lady. He was on the Primogen stream being interviewed about it. I can't. I think it's is it like Andreas or something like that? Westy. Wow, you went real dark real quick there. Yeah, I mean that's how my brain works though. It's the perspective. It's for me it's the perspective, right? Like if you know these if you know that there are much bigger things than you out there in the world and there's much more important things than what's happening in your micro little cosm of the universe, it just helps keep your perspective. Um it is, but wow, a completely new engine. Yeah, I mean the undertaking, right, of that is like, hey, I'm gonna build a browser. That's fucking insane. But I think it's wonderful that there's a group of people out there, one that want to do the engineering work, right, the labor that's required to do that, and there's also a group of people who are willing to financially support those builders to do it, and then we all get the benefit of having an engine that doesn't belong right to one group of people. So I think that's very exciting. Wait, I thought Ladybird had ceased development. I don't think so. What's his name? I'm pretty sure his name's Andreas. Ladybird browser. It's terrible that I can't remember his name. Yeah, Andreas Kling. He was on the Primogen stream a month or two ago, being interviewed about it. So I think they're still actively developing it. Hazik, hey man, hey Hazik, good to see you again, man. Thanks for stopping in the stream. Appreciate you. AW, thanks for answering my questions. Last question: if I wanted to make WordPress plugins, which program language would you suggest I learn? AW, I honestly don't know. But WordPress is built in PHP, right? WordPress built in PHP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's built in PHP. And I don't know about the. Let's see. What language for WordPress plugins? I honestly don't know. I've never looked into that. So it looks like, according to Google, they're primarily written in PHP. But I'm guessing you need to know a little bit of the front end tech, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But that kind of makes sense, right? If the system itself is built in PHP, it makes sense. Like your plugin kind of needs to be able to be built in PHP. I've never written I've worked with WordPress, never done anything beyond customizing CSS in it. But it's a good way to think about how to apply your skills, right? You could build projects, build things that people will use for an existing audience. I've heard several people recommend that. Like if you want to build something that people will actually use, build it for a platform that already has a large user base, right? Like a browser extension, like a Chrome extension, which is smart, Like all those people who are making tons of money making Canva templates and Notion templates. It's crazy. And then there's people like me who just decide to randomly build projects and stick them on GitHub. spend hours of their life building something that only they will ever use. But that's what I enjoy. It's just like I said, if AI tomorrow made programmers and developers obsolete, you'd still find me in front of my computer writing code. Wow, we already had an hour and 15 minutes. All right, I'm probably going to hang out for another 15-ish minutes. But I appreciate all you guys who have hung out. St1E, thanks for just sticking through the whole thing basically. Ayushin Sky, let's play chess. You're gonna whoop my ass if we play chess. I haven't played chess at all in a real long time. How do you do that? Ayushin Sky, you just play chess in the chat. Like I say, knight to b1, and then you say. Have you guys seen? Do any of you guys watch the Primogen? He's doing a ton of cool stuff, interactive stuff with the chat. Right, that would be kind of a cool interactive chat project. You know, play chess versus chat. Chat has to span moves on the board. St1E, what juice is that? It looks exactly the same as the next one we have in Serbia. This is a protein shake, actually. So it's a coffee flavored protein shake, which, if anybody from Premier Protein is watching this, I would love to be sponsored. St1E, I do. Nice. Yeah, I really enjoy his streams, and I love all the cool interactive stuff. No, you play. I watch your clutches. I don't know what that means, man. Ayushin Sky. St1E, the packaging is exactly the same. You know what? I'll bet probably. What do you think? What do you bet? Like, it probably originates from the same 4 or 5 factories in the world, right? That's how everything is these days. Like in the protein world, like in the supplement world, there's only a handful of people who make protein powders, right? They just put it in a different colored tub and stick a different printed wrapper around it. Riz D Oddies, do you remember me? I don't, Riz. So if you've been here before and I've forgotten, I apologize. But your name feels new to me. Hope you're having a good day though, man. Thanks for stopping into the chat for a little bit. Okay, so let's say var exists, and we'll say underscore file system dot path dot exists. Why am I not getting IntelliSense here? Oh, that's because I don't have this. There's not a field up here. Am I the only one that every time I try to use AI to speed up the development of what I'm working on, I just end up wasting time, feeling miserable, no matter how much good or bad my prompts are? So, Melgio, I actually have something to share with you on that. One sec, hold on. I'm the guy who said name a car for an edit. Oh, yes. Now I do remember, Riz. Yeah. And I think I said, didn't I look up? It was like I think I said Porsche 911 or something like that. I just Googled it. No, I asked ChatGPT. Can I send a link somehow? I want to make a joke. Tust. Yeah, you can send a link for sure, man. I don't think it'll get caught in the... I don't know, maybe YouTube doesn't let you guys post links. But if we create that Discord, you can send it to me there. I'll get that Discord created and I'll put a link in my channel. In my channel links or channel bio or something like that. Concerned citizen. Looks like Java. You must be a masochist. No, it's not Java. It's C#, right? So it's Microsoft's version of Java. Nah, man, C#'s awesome. Concerned citizen. I don't know about Java. I've never written a line of it, but C# rocks. .NET's awesome. So is it because is like a semi-automatic car? You can use it for templates, brainstorm right now, but no for actual development. Yeah, so you're asking about Melgio's thing. Steven, are you Catholic? I'm not. I am not Catholic. I would just be, well, I guess I'm Christian, but I'm not Catholic, right? So there's a difference there. But I do believe in God. Riz DRDs, yes. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now, Riz. How you doing, Riz? Thanks for stopping into the chat again. Apologies for forgetting. I try to do my best to try to remember everybody who's kind of hung out or interacted in the chat. Okay, go back to Melgio's thing. You're not the only one, Melgio. So I was working on a project for work where I basically have been like POCing this front end for a new feature, right? So kind of like working through the design and doing that, I've had to rebuild a lot of the existing controls because I don't have access to our actual control library. It's just based on my position in the company and what I do. I just don't have access. So I've been recreating a lot of these controls, like recreating a date picker, right? For example, which was not a lot of fun, but I did it. And along the way, I kind of would always take a shot at having Claude, like I'd basically take a picture of the control or the component, and I'd send it to Claude and be like, "Hey, Claude, can you draft this for me? Can you make a rough draft of this component in Vue?" Is the framework that I was using for the front end, and it just didn't work. I mean, it would give me, like, for the date picker, it gave me a pretty good date picker, but the date picker didn't match the style or the look of the component I sent it at all. I mean, functionally it was okay, but it did not match at all, right? So then it's like, okay, do I waste time here just trying to force the LLM to give me what I want, or do I just sit down and do the work and just make it what I want it to be? And that's what I did. After like the second time of trying that, I was like, this is I'm gonna waste more time trying to do this. Which I think is, I mentioned this in another stream about AI, about how, to me, it's really great for the blank page problem, right? When it's like, I don't have something I know I already want. Like, I just know that I have a problem. I know roughly where I want to end up, but I don't have a lot of concrete, like, requirements. I feel like it's really good for those types of problems. But if you have in your mind a really concrete thing you want to build, and you have the skills to build it, in my opinion, I think you save yourself a lot of time by just getting to work on it instead of trying to prompt an LLM. And personally, that's what I see a lot of people using AI for, is for blank page problems, greenfield projects, that sort of thing. Stewani, what kind of Christian are you? I grew up in a Methodist church. Stewani. We're not actively members of a church at the moment. You're good, 100. Yeah, I appreciate you understanding, Riz. I appreciate that. Concerned citizen. Okay. I used to use Java. I switched to Python, though, for learning. I guess having some Java experience will make C languages easier when I have to take C++ in school. Yeah, for sure. I would guess Java would make learning. I don't know C++ or C. Stevie, if you want to, you can try Warp Terminal. It's awesome, but has a ton of options. Also integrates AI super well. You can just type what you want and AI will answer. Yeah, but does Warp support Windows? Because last time I looked at it, it was for Mac only. Did they release a Windows? Oh, there it is. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I'll definitely. I have a MacBook. I do have a MacBook. It doesn't hold a charge very, very, very well, so I don't really use it too much. But I have Warp on this. I have Warp on this MacBook. But I didn't know they released one for Windows. So yeah, I'll definitely install that. But I do like my PowerShell profile, man. It's difficult to give up the thing you know. Actually, let's add this to my... I have a running list of things to do on stream. Let's add that to it. Also, I swear I can write code. I promise I didn't start my stream and then just open a made up project and then just not write any code in it. I've been surprised by how much chat I've had today. What we're gonna say? Oh, install Warp Terminal and give it a go. My issue is I'm quickly running up against like I have too many things I need to work on or try. The other thing, what was the other thing we talked about at one time point was like try learning Java because I like coffee and I've never written any Java. Now I just get PTSD when I see the ChatGPT input field. Yeah, Melgia, like it's not that I've quickly have moved away from it for that use case. I think Copilot's really good for helping with like kind of AI powered autocomplete. I think that's a wonderful experience. I use Claude and ChatGPT a lot just to brainstorm. Like, hey, I want to. This is the idea I have. This is the thing I want to build, but I'm not really sure where to start. Where would you start? I use it a lot for that. I use ChatGPT to generate images quite a bit. Um, but yeah, if I need to match something, I just do the work, man. Like if I need to, here's a date picker I need to recreate, I just recreate it. Um, JM Music, favorite language. JM, you mean programming, right? Favorite programming language? Because my favorite spoken language or written language would just be English because it's the only one I know. Steve E, well, there's me, there's chat. What can I say? I'm the chat guy. Steve E, I appreciate it, man. It's a concerned citizen. No worries, man. There's so many times I'll be programming in front of people and end up just staring at my screen like, I swear, I'm not just. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel right now. I've been sitting here for about an hour and 20 minutes or so, and I've written 3 or 4 lines. Well, maybe 10 lines of code. But it's fun to be able to interact with you guys. So I don't want to ignore your guys' questions. If exists is false. Return. Not path dot file dot read all text. Oh, actually, I should probably move this to its own separate file too. Seems silly, but yeah, general question. Today I had to write too much C for this keyboard. I'm completely fine with you not writing any code on stream. Nice, okay. Were you custom programming a QMK? Oh, you're talking to C1E, sorry. Nikki, do you do front end also? Yeah, I do front end. I can show you some stuff I built, some web front end stuff I built. Let's see. There's well, my blog, right? My blog is built in Blazor. So this is a C# app that I built. It's not, I mean, obviously the front end isn't anything to write home about. Um, So that's something I built. Front end web. Let's see. There's another app I built. I wonder if it'll start. Onyx. This is actually one of my favorite projects I built. Onyx. Just.stephenfreeborn.com. It's hosted on Vercel, so it might time out. Okay, there we go. So this is a front end app I built. It's obviously, I think you can probably tell, it's inspired by GitHub Gist. But the idea behind this website is, so the company I work for, the software we make lets you write formulas using JavaScript. Well, one of the things you find yourself doing is you find yourself very quickly writing formulas, like clever, useful formulas, and then solving a problem, but then somebody else is like, hey, have you ever done this before? And you're like, yeah, I have done that before. And then you're like, okay, let me go find that place where I have that formula. And so I built this, which is basically, it's a GitHub Gist clone, but it's specific to that program, that formula engine, right? So, and it has an editor, like a code editor, which is pretty cool. Let's see how do I edit this? Oh, I guess I have to log in first. Oops. So this was a front end project I did. That was a lot of fun. I want to show you the editor because the editor is pretty cool. It uses CodeMirror. Yeah, so you can like edit, you can delete, you can add a gist, but it has this nice editor that supports JavaScript, right? And it has completion. And I didn't build the editor though, just to be clear. The editor is a separate library. It's called CodeMirror. So all the nice, pretty functionality in the editor, that's not me. But yeah, but you can write functions, do all that nice stuff. So that's a front end, pretty cool front end that I built. I also built an X clone that I really like. It's called convex.stephenfreeborn.com. And you can tell these front ends are kind of similar. I built them right around the same time, so the style and layout and stuff is kind of similar. But this also has an editor. So the idea behind this website or this front end was basically an X-like website, but you can do long form and short form, right? So the editor for this supports doing long form content. So if you want to post like a long form thing, right, you have like a nice markdown editor. Hello world, how are you doing today? And then you can write, like you could put code comments in your posts, or not code comments, code snippets in your post, right? So you could do like function, say hello. But like I thought this would be a really cool way for like a social platform to both support like long form blog posts. And then you can preview it. Again, it's kind of modeled after the whole GitHub user experience. So that's a front end I built. It looks clean too. Yeah, so Nikki, I haven't done much front end stuff though on stream, Nikki, and that's just because the projects I've been working on lately just haven't had any front end tech. Like I said, I was working on that front end project though. I have been doing a lot of front end though the last 3 weeks because I've been working on that work project. Just nothing on stream. Melgio, my worst experience with GPT was when I needed some sort of script to convert nested CSS to regular CSS while maintaining the hierarchy of the selector. I had no knowledge of shell scripting. I ended up learning bash shell scripting and doing it on my own after having GPT hallucinating for 1 hour straight. Nice. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very fun project either. Converting nested CSS to regular CSS. Woo. Yeah, that don't sound like fun. Concerns? No, you guys are just talking to each other. That's actually clever. Yeah, so that's I'm trying to think if there's any other cool front ends that I obviously have done a bunch of front end stuff that as part of like free code camps curriculum. Um, let's see if there's anything else. I mean, I'm gonna build. I'm the project I'm working on today, or have been trying to work on today, is gonna have a front end. It's gonna have a web app associated with it. That'll probably be built in Blazor. But I've written front ends in um, obviously vanilla, JavaScript, React, Vue, um, Next.js. I've used Next.js, which is obviously React. I would really like to try something with Svelte. I'd like to try something with Nuxt.js. Haven't had a opportunity to do anything with that yet. So, but yeah, front ends. I think the best part about front end development is the fact that you can see your thing. You know what I mean? Like there's something tangible to it. Whereas when you're working on something that's kind of back end only, it's not the feedback loop isn't quite the same. Melgio, it wasn't fun. Nice. Yeah, St1E and Concerned Citizen seem like they seem like kindred spirits when it comes to building keyboards. All right. Well, I said I was gonna wrap up. I said I was gonna wrap up 20 minutes ago in 15 minutes. So, in the name of getting my evening started and getting back to some work, I'm gonna wrap up here. Obviously, I didn't get much done with this thing, but that's okay. I had a lot more fun talking to you guys. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm gonna hop off here, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will be back tomorrow. I'm glad my power didn't cut out again. We've been having power outages, it seemed like all day, all evening and all day, because we've had a little bit of a blizzard coming through. But so far, the stream has held up. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow in another stream or maybe another video. Nikki, have a nice coding evening. Yes, that is what I'm going to get off here and do. St1E, it's nice talking to you. Hope we see. Yes, and that there will be. I'll create a Discord server right away, and I'll put it in my YouTube channel. I'll make a post about it, and you guys are welcome to join. But yeah, you all have a good night. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.